Hi, I'm Andy Mack from Akai Pro, and I'm down at GAC today, and we're going to be doing a walkthrough of the brand new update for Force, which is 3.0.2. Now, inside this update, we've done some really incredible things. We've integrated Splice directly inside our browser, which means that you can log on to your Splice account, you can add sounds to your account, and then you can import these via Wi-Fi by connecting Force to your account. And we'll go through that today. And we've also added sample auditioning synchronization directly inside our browser, which means that all of your samples inside, if they've got embedded tempos, you can audition these all in real time and they will synchronize with your tempo, which means that you can listen to all of these loops and decide which ones actually work with your track all in real time. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a look at Splice, we're going to go through the account, going to pick some sounds and we're going to add them to my account, and then we're going to set up Force, bring over the sounds via Wi-Fi, and then we're going to make some tracks from that, and then we'll have a look at the new browser. So let's get going. So now I'm in Splice, so what I want to do, I'm going to listen to some packs and I'm going to choose some sounds and I'm going to add them to my account using my credits. And then once we've got all of these sounds in here, what we're going to do is go over to Force. I'll show you how to synchronize my account with the hardware, and then we'll bring in these sounds via Wi-Fi and then we'll make some music from it. So I've just been listening to some sounds. There's a few that are up here that I think are really, really cool. There's one called Evening Groove. So I'll listen to the demo. So all I do, you know, anyone who's familiar with Splice will know how it works. If you're not, we're actually offering 3 months free subscription to Splice as well. So you can get yourself up and running, which is super cool. Millions of sounds to choose from. So I'm going to play some of these samples. And like we all do, we always try and find sounds that kind of spark an idea. And this is the great thing about auditioning with Splice, is that you can choose things per sound, which I love. So for me, we'll do some really cool kind of neo soul vibe. So we're going to click a few of these. Find some snares. So I'm just picking some random stuff here. So now that I've picked a bunch of sounds, what I've got on here, I've got 46 sounds to download. So what I do, I download these sounds and I'm using 46 credits. Now I've added those to my Splice account. If you pull up your Splice browser, you'll see all these sounds where they've been added. They're just updating now, so you can see evening hip hop. I've got all my other stuff in here as well. So I've got, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 sounds, and I've already synchronized a bunch of that already. So the only things we're going to sync with Force is the new stuff that I've just transferred, which is, I think, 42 individual samples. So now that's done, what we want to do now is set up Splice onto Force, okay? And any time that you do add new sounds to your account, even if you're at home, you're at studio, wherever you are, you simply just hit synchronize on Force and it will know exactly what new sounds you've added to your account and transfer them across for you. So it will always be updating whenever you've added new sounds to your account. So let's move over to Force and let's set these two things up. Now that I've added my sounds to my Splice account, what I'm going to do is pair Force and Splice together so we can transfer all this stuff via Wi-Fi. So it's very straightforward. I go to Menu, go to Settings, and everything we're doing here is fully standalone. So Force is going to use its Wi-Fi capabilities. So we go to Wi-Fi and we wait for it to search for our networks. So here's my network here, Akai Wi-Fi. I'm using a hotspot on my phone. So this is now connected already because I've already put in my password. And now I go to Splice. And the first thing it says is get login code. And once you've done this, you don't need to do it again. So I ask for a login code and it would generate me a code, YD9WW8. So now I go over to Splice and I go to splice.com/link. So I press this and it says enter code. So now we go YD9 WW8 and I press link device. And you will see the screen changes. Your device is now connected to Splice. You are connected as your username. So we are done. So now that's done, I'll move my laptop out of the way because we no longer need that. Press OK, and all I do now is press check for updates. Now, let me just talk you through what's on the screen already. Now, we have the option to change the drive. So if you put in your own internal SSD or an SD card, you can set that up as the primary location of where you want to transfer your Splice sounds. So if you want to keep all your library organized, it's best to do so like that without using all the internal storage. So I'm going to use my SD64 in the front. So now I've clicked that, I press check for updates. And now it's going to go to Splice and it's going to see how many sounds I've added to my account. So 46, which is the exact number that I credited to my account. So I press sync. And now what we're going to do is import all the sounds via Wi-Fi into Force. So now we've finished our download. It says on the screen, your samples from Splice have completed. Number of new samples downloaded is 46. So I press OK, and now we can do some stuff with these sounds. You know, we'll make some tracks from it. So what I've done, I've got a couple of audio tracks up here, and I've got a drum track. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to my drum track here, and we'll populate some of the pads. So I go to load, and I go to my places, Splice, and as soon as I hit Splice, here's my packs. So I go to packs, and we're going to find one called Evening Grooves. There we go. That's the one we've downloaded. Go into here, and now I've got construction kits, drum hits, and drum loops. So let's go into construction kits, which is probably where all of the really smooth piano loops were. Okay, and you know, let's have a listen and see which ones we fancy working with. I've got my browser on as well, so I'm going to keep my browser on. And we're going to set our tempo. Set our tempo at 90 beats per minute. So that's a nice one there. Go to finesse. Go back. I think we'll roll with this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that onto an audio track. So I'll go to track 1, and I'm going to put this onto a clip. So we'll go to up here, load this on a clip. So that's on a clip. So what we can do as well, we can actually time stretch this if we want to manipulate all our tempos. So I could take this down to say 8 bars, and we can go into region. I can select the actual audio file, and the tempo is 90 beats per minute on this. So we can warp this, okay? So keep it on warp, and then go back to our matrix. And then we can put our metronome on. So the groove's in time, okay? So what we'll do now is that's going to be the foundation of what we're working from, and then I'm going to go over to my drum track now, okay? Which is here, and we go to notes, and now we're going to populate the pads with some drum hits. So again, I go to load, go down to packs, and we'll go down to evening groove, and we'll go to drum hits. So let's put some kicks on here. And then we'll go to snares. There, and we'll go to hats. Maybe use that open one there. Put that on there, and then percussion. Bit like a tambourine. Snap there. And what I'll probably do as well is let's use one of these loops as well. Extra percussion. Maybe we could use that, or see what we've got here. Okay, let's use that one there. It's a nice groove there. So I'll add this onto this audio track. Actually, no, let's use the percussion. Let's add that. So there we go. So what I'm going to do with my percussion loop, I want to use my time stretching. So I'm going to warp this. Original BPM is 80 beats per minute. So that's there. And we're going to use, this is a 4-bar loop. So now, when I play these two together, we've got our loop here. Turn my metronome off. Oh. Bring in the loop. Now, this whole groove is kind of shuffling, so we want to add some swing to this. So I'll probably swing it about 58% when we do our drums. So now I go to track 4, so I'm in notes mode. Bring this loop down, bring my drums up. So let's record something, yeah? Hit arm, track 4. Then we're gonna go. So we can do now as well, if we hit shift and mixer, we can see all the individual mixer levels. We can bring our hats down, bring our snare up. Let's turn our metronome off now. Don't need that now. So let's add some more to our track. So what I'll do, record. We'll add some more stuff to it. Go to our mixer, bring this level down, record. Bring our level down. So that's how easy it is just to bring in sounds from Splice and literally just go straight into the browser and just make a track straight from it. So basically, if we go to our launch, go to mute, we've got the loop, the percussion loop, and then the drums. And then we can start adding effects to this as well. So we can go to our mixer, we've got our drums, we've got this loop. So let's go to the Rhodes loop, go to insert, and we could insert the lo-fi plugin from Air. So we could now grain that up more, bring in the percussion loop. So now we've looked at Splice integration, let's have a look at our new browser synchronization, which allows us to preview all of our samples in time with the master clock. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a bunch of audio tracks. So hold down one of my tracks and press advance. Now I've got it set to audio, so let's populate 8 tracks. And then I'm going to bring in live loops and melodics all in real time. So let's start with a tempo of 124, which is good. Go to load. And now here's my Audition browser, which has now got auto sync and warp. So if you turn off warp, it won't time stretch in real time. So it will sync in real time at the beginning of each bar, but the loop will play to the original tempo. As soon as you hit warp, it looks at the embedded tempo information, and then it will calculate that that needs to play back at 122 or 124, whatever your tempo is set at. And then it will play in sync. So we've now got that on. And what we're going to do now is go to clips and loops. I'm using Deep House here. So we can go through a bunch of loops. So let's see what we've got here to play with. So let's use that, start with that. So we start the loop now. Now we can add to this on our next track, Audition. Find something that we like. Percussion. Next track. Find maybe a clap. We can bring up our volume as well. There we go, hat loop. Now we can trigger these now. Bring the volumes down. Next track. So let's find like a melodic. So let's go through some of our sounds, see what we've got here. Melodics. Okay, that works. So let's pull that up. So now that's finished, let's trigger that. Bring these volumes down. Next track, we can find a vocal part now. Let's have a look at vocals. Oh, let's put some more percussion down. Another percussion loop there. Add that. Now we'll go to vocal. Now we're D minor. Let's use that one. Bring that down. Launch 4. And then we can add another vocal loop underneath this one. So we'll see what else we got here. Let's add this one here. Now we'll jump between them. Now we're going to mute. So drums, percussion, hats. So that's the browser synchronization inside Force. As you can see, it's a great workflow. It really gives you instant ideas and creativity when you're going through your libraries. So any loops and samples that you have which have embedded tempos, you can instantly sync these to your project in real time. And it kind of takes you outside of the way that we normally search for samples, because you can hear instantly if they work across your idea. So this is Force 3.0.2 update, which is now available. Splice integration and synchronization to your browser, fully standalone. So if you want more information, go over to akaipro.com or to gac.co.uk for more information. Thank you.